It's Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. A lot to talk about today. Feel free to comment down below about anything you want to comment on. Also want to thank every one of you for your prayers, thoughts, the letters, the support, for just viewing this channel and becoming a member, subscribing, sharing the videos. Thank you so much. None of this is possible without you. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very, very much. Now, getting into things today. The first thing I want to start with today is this article on the hedge. U.S. water systems targeted by Iran-linked cyber attacks in multiple states. This is the first I heard of this. I have not seen anything over the weekend or anything yesterday about this. But this article really stuck out today. Multiple federal agencies are warning that Iran-linked hackers have been targeting water systems and other industries that use programmable logic controllers made by the Israeli firm Unitronics. Why is this not major news today, or why wasn't it major news when this began to happen? This is a big deal, and this is a reminder to you and to myself and everybody we know why we need to be preparing, why we need to be putting food and water away. These things are happening behind the scenes right now, and we're not being told. They're targeting not just water systems, but other industries such as energy, food, and beverage manufacturing. The attacks began November 22nd. It is now December 5th, and this is the first I've heard of this. Maybe you've heard some information on this, but why is this not major news? We should be aware of what's going on. The American people have no idea what is happening behind the scenes, and they're so unprepared for what is about to happen. The attacks began, as I said, November 22nd. November 25th, the Water Authority of Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, had to switch to manual operations. And again, this has not just happened in Pennsylvania, it's happened in other states. And we don't even really know where it's happened because we're not being told the truth. We're not even being told what's happening. They're very, very vague when they tell us, about people who are walking around in this country. They're vague about, multiple agencies are warning about these cyber attacks. Well, I haven't seen or heard of any warnings. This should be major news on every station right now. And again, it is a reminder to you and to myself why we must be putting food away, water filtration, security, all of these things. There are going to be events that take place in America without a doubt. And this isn't to scare you. This is to wake you up and to make sure that you are prepared to deal with these events when they begin to unfold in America. Too many people want to walk around and talk about the economy all day and just tell you that everything is going to be on sale and that it's going to be pure euphoria when people are losing their houses and their cars because if you have money, you're going to go out and capitalize and buy all this stuff. You better get ready for what is coming. We are going to see a breakdown in the system. We're going to see events unfold, not just economically, but socially. The social breakdown in this country, and then on top of this, the cyber attacks. We have a lot of people in the world that do not like us. There's a lot of people here right now in this country that we have no idea who they are. And they're walking around freely with very, very bad intentions. And at some point, many of you may have to deal with these people. I may have to deal with these people. We may have to deal with a water system going down. If they hit the food industry or trucks can't ship or food can't be processed, water, can't be pumped into your house from the water treatment plant, and there's no running water, or the water, is polluted. What are you going to do? These are things now, as we enter very, very close to 2024, things that are at our doorstep right now that people are ignoring. They want to go to the baseball games. They want to go to the football games. They want to just ignore what is happening. They want to doom spend. They want to get deeper into debt. They want to go buy a house. I mean, people's priorities are so out of whack right now, and they're going to pay a very, very severe price for this. Keep staying on path. Don't get derailed. Many people are going to get very complacent now. Markets today were somewhat flat, but we've seen a huge rally in the markets, and the continued talk that we're going to see rate cuts. So, the good times are just around the corner. If you can just hang in there till maybe March or May, the cheap money's coming. This means that you're going to be able to go buy a house again. You can go buy a car with cheap, easy money, and everything's going to be okay. I would be very, very cautious, ladies and gentlemen. There is nobody guaranteeing anything that there's going to be cuts. Jerome Powell came out and clearly said that he never said there were going to be cuts. Now, could he cut? Yes, he could. I don't think we're going to be seeing cuts anytime soon. And so then the market will probably just say, well, maybe by the end of this year, it'll be by the end of 2024. That, by the end of 2024, then we're going to get cuts. And then when that doesn't happen, it'll be early, 2025. So it's hard to really put all this together. Nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball. But who is telling you that there's going to be all these rate cuts? The markets want to believe this. It's the markets. It's the markets. It's like a real estate agent telling you it's a great time to buy a house at 7.5%. Don't worry. They're going to cut the interest rates, and then you can refi in 2024. But the question is, what if they don't cut and you bought this house and you overpaid for this house and now you're paying 7.5%, 8%? What if they don't cut rates? What are you going to do? TheEconomicCollapse.com. We are starting to find out what is beneath the thin veneer of civilization. Very good article, and I'll kind of just paraphrase a little bit through here. Many of us were very, very fortunate to grow up during a civilized time, in a civilized society. Growing up, I never saw, when I was a kid, there was always been crime. But there's never been this kind of crime. There was never a time in my life growing up where people just ran into stores and just took stuff literally every day of the week in this country. There was never a time really where it was entertaining to just run up and assault women and elderly people. There was never a time where pushing a little kid on the railroad tracks in a subway to get run over by a train, that never really happened. At least not like it is now. We've taken a lot for granted, turned our backs on the values that were handed down to all of us. Our society today is teeming with predators. Crime rates are soaring all over the nation. Millions of Americans are afraid to even leave their homes. We have drug addicts flooding the streets of America, feces all over the streets of America, trash all over the streets of America, rats all over the streets of America, while the infrastructure continues to collapse all over America. Home invasions, retail theft, assaults, property damage, auto theft. This is what a civilized society does not look like. This is not a civilized society any longer, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't even the Wild Wild West. Even back then, they respected women and children. Today, it doesn't matter. This is not what a civilized society looks like. Bellevue Police Department in Bellevue, Washington. They were just handing out steering wheel locks on December 3rd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. because car thefts are up 23% in Bellevue. We're literally, it says here in the article, committing national suicide, and the stage is set for an epic eruption of societal unrest in our major cities, which will be so bad it will shock the planet. Very, very true. I believe that. We are sitting on a powder keg, and something is going to spark this powder keg, spark the fuse, and there's going to be no going back. And there's going to be a lot of people that talk the big talk, walk the big walk supposedly, but these people did not prepare. They're not putting away assets. They're not training. They're not getting in the best physical shape as possible. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. There is no magic pill out there. I watched, what was his name? Laird Hamilton, the incredible surfer, the big wave surfer, 100-foot waves. I was watching him on a podcast last night. I think it was Sean Ryan, the Navy SEAL. Laird Hamilton said there's no magic pill that is going to make you healthier, make you stronger. There's things that can help you, but at the end of the day, There's no pill that is going to make you lose weight. There's no pill that's going to make you stronger. There's no pill that is going to stop you aging. There's no pill that's going to make you feel better. You got to put in the work. Yes, you can take vitamins. There's supplements out there that can help you, but you've got to be putting in the work, or none of it works. It does not work. You gotta be in the gym. You gotta be dropping the pounds. You gotta be able to move. You gotta learn how to fight. You gotta learn how to defend yourself. You gotta get to the range. You gotta learn tactics. These are all skill sets that people should have been doing over the last few years, without a doubt, or even farther back. It's gonna be too late at some time. It's going to be too late. And already financially, it's already too late for millions of people because they're so broke, so in debt, and we're heading into a depression, and these people have no way out. There's no chance now. Are you still middle class today on the hedge? We talked about this probably a week or two ago. Here's a few things to classify if you're middle class. Do you have health insurance? Do you have 25 to 50% equity in your home? If you take income and expenses that enable the household to save at least 6% of its net worth. Significant retirement funds, IRAs, 401ks. Interesting about 401ks today. 401ks on average in this country are down about 25% this year, $16,000. That was on Fox Business today. Think about that. The average 401k in America is down 25% or $16,000. If the primary household wage earners lost their job, do you still have the ability to service the debt over the medium term? So if your husband or your wife lost their job, would you be able to make the car payments? Would you be able to make the mortgage payments? Would you be able to continue to pay the health insurance? Reliable vehicles for each wage earner in that home that are both fully covered and insured. If it says a household requires government assistance like SNAP, Medicaid, or rent subsidies, etc., to maintain the family lifestyle, you are not middle class. And I looked this up today. 21.3% of the U.S. is on government subsidies. 21.3%. So that's a lot of people. And there's going to be a lot more people on that list very, very soon. Here's another one from the hedge. Race to price Fed rate cuts is making a hike more likely. So what do you think is going to be next? A rate hike or a rate cut? Me personally, and I'm probably going to go against the grain here. I think the next one's going to be a rate hike. Now, I don't know if that's going to be December or sometime next year, but I think we see another hike before we see a cut. Here's another one from the hedge. Fed rate cut pricing will soon need a recession to be justified. The rate cut may never happen. And what if it does not happen, ladies and gentlemen? Then what do they say? What do? Do they just keep putting it off till, now we're in 2023, then we're in 2024. What if we don't get one in 2024? Is it 2025? What happens? Now, are we ever going to get rate cuts? Probably. When everything begins to implode and things really begin to break and the Fed is completely out of tricks, the last resort is print money, cut rates. Then we got very, very big trouble. See, I don't understand why people want this to happen. I understand markets want it to happen, but do markets understand the long-term effect that this is going to have if the Fed cuts rates now and begins to print money? This is what got us where we're at right now. Cheap money, low rates for too long have caused inflation. We're not back to 2%. And why aren't we back to 0%? Why is it 2? Then what they're going to do is they're going to move the goalpost and say, well, maybe it's only going to get to 3%. That's the best it's going to get. Or 3.5%. That's the best we can do. They're going to move the goalposts. So many games that are going on right now, but just think about what they're telling you, that we'll just print more money and cut rates. That's what caused this mess. we'll do it again, and that's going to fix things. No, it's going to do the opposite. It is going to absolutely destroy your purchasing power. It's going to destroy your futures. It's going to destroy your standard of living. The only thing the Fed can do now that would be correct, which would be the right thing to do, is actually raise interest rates much, much higher than they are right now and crush inflation. Government would have to stop spending massive amounts of money, and the average household would have to get their reckless spending under control also. This will probably never happen. So what will probably happen is the opposite. People are going to continue to spend. They're going to continue to doom spend. The government will doom spend, and the Fed will cut rates at some point and print a lot of money. Then you have a Venezuela on your hands. Then you got big trouble. Then you're on your own. If you think seeing a doctor now takes a long time, if you think waiting in a food line now that the lines are very, very long, it takes a long time to go get food. If you think that the lines are long now, you ain't seen nothing yet. If you think that your standard of living is going down, wait till they start printing a bunch of money. Yes, there will be a sugar high. It'll be great for a little while, but bam, it's going to cause big trouble. It's going to cause hyperinflation in this country. And it's very possible it happens. We'll see what Jerome Powell is made of, but more than likely at some point they're going to. And then you're going to see what happens to gold. Then it's going to matter about what you can get to, what you physically hold, not digits on a screen, because the digits on a screen aren't going to be worth anything, because everything's going to be devalued in paper, right? All that paper, all that fiat is going to be devalued. That means your stocks, your bonds, everything is going to be devalued because it's all paid through dollars, right? Gold is the real money. Cash is just the currency. Gold is the real money. Labor market implodes. Job openings crater. Prior data revised sharply lower. This on the Hedge today. BLS reported a revised job openings for September from 9.553 million. It was revised down to 8.73 million. The BLS also revised 4 of the past 5 job opening prints lower. A lot of people, months ago were complaining. I read in the comments, and I saw this on other videos, that they were applying for multiple jobs, 2, 3, 4, 10, 12 jobs, not one reply. How many of the jobs out there were just fake? And how much of this data is fake? It keeps getting revised down. Everything keeps getting revised down. And I think that even the revisions down probably aren't even doing justice to what the real numbers are. So, people could say, well, look at the data, inflation's going down and everybody's working, and unemployment's still low at 3.8%, and, wages are going up, and, the dollar's doing good, and it's all a fraud, in my opinion. Please comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Here's the problem. When you begin to have all these numbers, all this data manipulated, when the stock market is manipulated, when the housing market is manipulated, you can't believe any of this stuff. And people are making life-altering decisions based on this data that they're reading, or that they're watching on the television, or that their politicians are telling them, or what the Fed is telling them. They're making life-altering decisions on information that is completely fraudulent. The numbers keep getting revised down, and they probably should be revised much more down. But at the end of the day, month after month after month, we get these numbers, CPI, PPI, whatever the numbers might be, it's all a fraud. And people are believing it. They're making life-altering decisions on what they're hearing, what they're being told, what they're reading. Be careful out there. Be careful what you believe, ladies and gentlemen, what you're reading in a paper or a magazine, what you're watching on the television, what a politician is telling you. Careful what you believe. What a real estate agent is telling you, what a stockbroker might be telling you. Careful what you are believing. Use your own 2 eyes, ladies and gentlemen, and take a good look around at what is going on. I had to run some errands today, and I was at the local mall, and just homeless people walking through the mall, multiple stores gone, multiple restaurants gone. just driving, through the desert. More and more RVs just parked in the middle of the desert. These shabby, beaten down, run down RVs. These are not people here to vacation. These RVs are parked in the middle of the desert. They're, very, very old. I'm going to try to do a video on it here in the next week or two, or at least fly a drone over one of these areas. But you just look at people. First off, they look extremely unhealthy. Many people look very unhappy. We have a lot of homeless running around. We have a lot of people living in dilapidated RVs, sleeping in their cars, tents. It's happening not just here in the desert, it's all over the state of California, and it's all over America now. What people said, well, that's only in California, that won't happen here. Well, now it's happening all over the country. Back years ago on Skid Row, they kept everything contained on Skid Row. Now, tents and homeless people are in Beverly Hills. They're living on Sunset Boulevard. They're all over Hollywood Boulevard. They're in Santa Monica. They're in Venice. They're in Brentwood. They're everywhere. So what they thought was just, well, that's just, it's just that one little part of town. Well, now it's spreading like a cancer. And then it was, well, that's just California. Well, now it's spreading outside of California. Now it's all over America. And you see it in your areas, in your cities, and I've seen it here for years. And it was just a matter of time before it got to a town near you, and now it has. So just a few things I wanted to report today. Again, comment down below on anything you want to comment on. I wish I had better news. It's really, really sad to see our society no longer a civilized society. And I always ask this question: what happens when people begin to get hungry? How about people when they begin to get mad because they don't have a job and they can't feed their families and they're losing everything? What is going to happen when that day comes? It's coming, and it's going to happen, whether that's 6 months from now, 6 days from now, 6 years from now. Take every day that you have as an opportunity to keep putting away the food, the water, the skills. This situation with the cyber attacks on our water plants and food and energy plants, this is a real dangerous situation. So this is something that we've never really had to deal with before. This new technology, very, very advanced. Think about how quickly they could shut your city down, how quickly they could shut an industry down, how quickly they could shut the financial systems down, the banks down. This is all going to be very, very possible here because it's happening every day. It's just a matter of time before something really big happens where they are able to shut entire grids down or an entire financial system down. Are you prepared to deal with that? I leave you with that. Are you prepared to deal with that? Comment down below. What are some of the things that you're adding to your preparations? Is it training? Is it more food, water, more supplies, more gear? What is it? What type of things are you adding? I'd really be curious to know. Let us all know, because I think we can all add to our preparations. I know I don't have enough, and I'm sure that there's some things I haven't even thought about. So comment down below. Let us all know. God bless. Stay safe. And as always, I look forward to speaking with each and every one of you.